World Chess Baku Grand Prix being played from October 1st, October 15th, 2014. Great world-class players. One of the qualifying tournaments for the World Championship for next year. Hi folks, John Cordisco back again. Here we are. The FIDE Grand Prix from Baku 2014. This is one of the preliminary tournaments to determine who gets in the candidates finals to play in the World Championship next year in 2015. It's a great tournament, a lot of great players. And Draken and my buddy Carl Nakamura, Dominguez, you name it. Karjakin, Caruana, Kajmanjanov, I can never pronounce his name right, and there's of course several others. Great tournament, top-notch players. This game is from round one. It's Sergei Karjakin now playing for Russia against Fabiano Caruana, Italian-American, playing for Italy. Now, Caruana's on a streak from his Singfield Cup triumph when he had 7 in a row against the best players in the world. Let's see how he does here. It's going to be a Queen's Gambit declined. D5, D4. Let's go for the first few moves here. It's pretty much standard stuff. Castles, Rook C1, Knight. You know, I'm funny. I always like knights like in here. Knights here always blocking the bishop, but that's the way it's played. Who are these guys? They're world-class players. Who am I to second-guess them? C takes, E takes. If you notice with these world-class players, the vast majority of the time, way over 90%, they take back with the piece that has the least value. You see that a lot. E takes, E3, opening up for the White's light squared bishop to come out, get some action here. C6, just to reinforce the D pawn for black. And it also controls a key square. Not only just reinforces the pawn, but it controls B5. H3, eventually this bishop might get out and come here, and that's an incredibly annoying pin. Knight D4. Interesting though, I'm looking at the computer off screen and it's got Queen A5 and Knight D4 is about the same. Bishop D3. The other knight comes up now. Now it's not so bad, even if this knight has to retreat. They're both in a very good spot now. He could even think about coming back over here if he has to. White finally castles, move 11, bishop F5, knight E2, knight back to D7. Interesting. Now you're going to see a 5-10 minute press conference between the two players here at the end of the video. I try to edit the best I can because they translate in a language that's in Baku, so I try to edit that part out, but I got most of it. It's actually very interesting. Knight goes back. He had mentioned knight to F8, or excuse me, E8. Knight to D7. He's rerouting the knight. Queen to B3. Right now, small advantage for White. Tiny one. Queen to B6, looking to trade queens. Karjakin makes the correct move. Queen to C2, that's also the computer move. Now it's interesting. Caruana goes bishop to G6. Now the computer calls for rook F to E8, which makes perfect sense. G6. Interesting, cutting off a retreat square from the light squared bishop for black, and bishop G6 was the last choice, and that's the one he picked. But the choices are so close together in score, I can't really criticize him for that. Bishop H2, he gets the bishop right out of the fray of things. I don't know what he's afraid of in that one. Knight to C3, knight G3, I think, are decent choices. I like knight G3. One, to keep all the pieces on the king side. There's not much action on the queen side. But he goes bishop H2 instead. Finally moves the rook over. Knight to F4. Bishop to D6. Interesting though, I think he would give up this bishop. Pawn takes, and it isolates this pawn. Would you? I don't know. Would you do that? But he shows knight takes. Bishop takes check. King takes. H takes. That was just a weird trade. Bishop against knight for white. Now let's pause here for a moment and check out the position a little closer. My favorite saying in a lot of my videos: what to do, what to do. You're white. Your king's a little exposed when in the recapture, but that's not the end of the world. What do you do? What do you do? Computer calls for king to g1, rook f to e1, which I like, and rook f to d1, pretty much the same. Karjakin goes g3, and the computer shows it as a tiny advantage for white right now. Queen to d8. You'll see in the end, or partially in the press conference, that Karjakin was very much in time trouble towards the end. Now, this is one of those rare tournaments where you can offer a draw before move 30. Usually you can't. King to g2. He moves the king. Now, I really don't know the reason for that. Maybe it's to help guard the f2 pawn. I'm not really sure on that move what the reason was behind that. g5. Computer like queen to c7 and a5. e5 is interesting, or excuse me, g5. Rook to h1. Now he's completely changing gears here. That's why he moved the king, because he wants to move the rook and it guards his pawn. He's trying to get this open, I think, and try to get an attack and maybe get some double rooks on this file to go after the black king. Queen to e7. Excuse me. And white goes b4, and I'm really surprised. The two top moves are bishop takes e4, pawn takes knight to d2, or knight to d2 straight away, challenging the knight without giving up the bishop. I kind of like knight to d2 myself. Karjakin goes b4. Still a tiny advantage for white. I don't see much here as far as either side having an advantage at all. That's a well-placed knight on e4, but it could be gotten rid of very easily. a5, b5. Interesting. c5. He decides not to do that, and he made the correct move, h4. Now he's hoping, of course, that pawn takes, open up that file against the king. g4, no go. He has to move the knight and moves the knight to g5. Rook a to c8. Of course, now he's threatening, of course, pawn takes, but you can get two rooks for the queen, but I don't know if I'd want to do that. He decided to play bishop takes, pawn takes. What to do, what to do? Rook to d1 maybe, change gears now that that file's blocked up, the h file. D takes. Queen to d1 is also a choice on the computer. He goes queen to b3. And right now the score is almost dead even. Excuse me. g6. That's what I'm trying to figure out. When I went over this game earlier, I was trying to figure out what the reasoning behind g6 was. To control this square? I really don't know. Rook to c4. This is a weird game. Weird as in, I'm really struggling on what to do. Usually I can somewhat pick what they're going to do next, or at least have the ideas they were thinking by their moves, but on this one I'm having a hard time. b6 makes perfect sense, close up the queen side. If c had taken instead, after rook takes, knight c5, queen to d1, half a pawn advantage for white. After b6, rook comes over, makes perfect sense, double up. Rook comes over, pawn takes, knight takes, Now this is where Karjakin does something that actually the computer calls for because everything else loses. I mean, you're in a world of soup here. He has to take that knight, and he does. Pawn takes, rook takes. And he's down the exchange. He's got a pawn for it, but it still shows basically even now. It's 0.00. That's a really gutsy thing. Rook to c8, of course, is the obvious move, and that's what he does. Right now, the computer shows the next three moves is all dead even. Those of you that were wondering if queen had taken instead. Queen takes check, king takes king, and then mate. So that rook wasn't free after all. Rook d5. Same thing. If he moves the queen, he gets mated in the same way. Queen f6. That stops all that nonsense. Rook to d5. Rook takes might be tempting. But after rook takes, queen to d1. Rook to b4. And of course, that loses for white. Rook to d5. Rook moves over. And this is where I think Karjakin miscues. Right now, rook takes d8 for white. Rook takes is a dead even game, even with white's passed pawn on the queen side. He plays a4. And it goes, give you an idea, and this is like a very natural move, doesn't it? It goes from 0.00, which is even, to a over 9-point advantage for black. Immediately, he miscues. Rook takes, queen takes, rook to c2, king moves, can't guard the square. How's he going to guard the f2 pawn? Queen can't guard it, knight can't guard it, he's SOL, as we say in America. And rook takes. And that's where Sergei Karjakin resigns. This is a tough defeat for him. I don't see how he could have missed that. I really don't. It's very simple. Rook takes, queen takes, rook here. That's not that difficult. I know he had a lot of time trouble, but even still, give you an idea what would have happened after he resigned, to give you an idea. Queen checks, king. He has to give up the queen, and it just goes on from there. I'm not going to go through the rest of the scenario on the computer here. But anyway, lucky break for Fabiano. Really tough break for Karjakin. And that's one of the games from round one of the World Chess Baku Grand Prix 2014. I hope you enjoyed it. I want to thank all my new subscribers that I've gotten in the last month. Got almost over about 35, 40 more new subscribers. Thank you very much. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. And as I always say, if you think chess is just a game, you're not playing it right. Take care, folks. Bye-bye.
Turumuzun gördüğünüz gibi de Sergei Karjakin ile Fabiano Caruana arasında oldu.
The game, what happened today?
Okay,
Oyunun təhlilinə birbaşa keçirik.
It was completely normal opening, maybe equal, maybe I'm slightly better. The position was playable. And,
I just want to say that this 2 is actually a novelty.
really?
Which move?
92.
I didn't have any ideas. But I was calculating very funny line. I think it started. He started somewhere here. Oh, sorry.
But 92, you know that it's novelty during the game. You thought about this, or just now you found out?
No, I would only know if I had. I mean, I knew about the position, and there was a game with knight a4, correspondence game.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to show the funny line 96, and now the bishop starts to take everything.
And who takes more?
Well, it's funny that white doesn't take more. And
But I thought you could just play gf3.
Yeah. I should just take, and I'm better in the rook's endgame. But if I take, then okay, then it's a draw. It was funny line. Okay, I mean, then it was some play.
No, I just overlooked this queen b3 because now I have to play queen b6 and my queen is not very good there. So I usually lose a tempo. Yeah, I was just expecting after bishop g6, knight c3. I thought maybe it's a bit better for white.
Yeah, so it's okay. I'm basically slightly better, but nothing special. That's what I don't know. Knight c3 was possible.
So what happened later where white lost the track?
I mean, I can just explain very unpleasant thing which happened to me at this moment. At this moment, I went to the players' room and I was sitting, I was drinking, eating, and I was looking at the translation. And Fabiano was thinking, and he already left 11 minutes. And then I decided to go to the playing. See that Fabiano already made a move and he has 25 minutes or something, and I mean I just lost 15 minutes because of this stupidity, and then I needed these minutes very much, but
You don't have them anymore, yeah?
yeah. Okay, then the position was completely unclear. Okay, I mean, of course, maybe I should have played something.
I thought maybe instead of after hg6, yeah, g3, queen d8, maybe h4 was.
Yeah,
I mean,
H4 was
if you want to
probably-
stop g5, then
Yeah, I should have stopped.
I was going to play a5 or something like that. And you can continue the same.
Yeah, that was more to the point. Yeah, okay, I played before, but I was very angry at this moment. But okay, I thought I'm playing interesting, but I don't know. It was hard to play this position with a little time. Okay, we were discussing that here a4 was interesting, but I don't know, maybe with computer we can see if it's
I just one question: is queen c2 possible, or is it f6 again?
queen c2 f6, I thought yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Rook a4 looks forced now.
Yeah, I mean I was calculating some crazy lines. Queen d1 maybe. And things, but I didn't have any ideas what's going on. I don't know.
Maybe queen f7 here.
Yes, queen h4.
Queen f3.
And queen h5, yes.
Okay, I mean I have a draw.
Yeah, queen d1 maybe and then queen h5. Yeah, maybe it was actually very good for black, but maybe I don't see something. I don't know. But here, as Fabiano told me after the game, rook d1 was better, and
Or maybe instead of rook c1.
Or instead of rook
either moment, I think.
yeah.
I didn't like my position so much. I thought, okay, because I want to play king g7, but then there's maybe d5, and knight f6, d6 looked a bit risky for me, and somewhere queen c3.
Okay, I mean the position is very interesting. I agree, and my only problem was that no agreement, and it's actually very hard to play. Okay, I mean I felt maybe the d takes c5 is not the best, but it was already very hard for me to find anything better. Okay, rook d1 was probably better, and here I don't know. Yes, as Fabiano said again, rook d5 was more precise, and maybe, yeah. The idea is that now rook d8, now rook e5 is good, and black.
I mean, I can still play maybe queen b7 there, rook d8, rook d8, rook e5, and queen b7.
Queen b7.
Okay, I queen isn't. Or even wait, can't I just play queen f6 again? And then rook e4, rook f4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably have to go to b7 then.
Okay, maybe I can make a draw somehow, but I felt that white is not playing for advantage anymore after d takes c5, and here I lost very quickly. But in fact, I simply realized that probably my position is already bad, and here I didn't see what to do. And okay, I blundered rook c2, but I just don't know what else I could have played.
No, here you probably should take on d8, because play something like queen c2 maybe.
Yeah, but I thought it should be.
Okay, and a4 and just try to play this.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I expected king g7 and then I wanted to do the same, but it was too late.
Fabiano, when was this moment when you felt that the position is better for you? Or if it was the moment?
No, only suddenly after rook c2 I just realized that I'm winning, but before that it looked very unclear. But I was just happy about the exchange sacrifice because I felt like I at least shouldn't be worse after that. And before I was very worried. I mean, but it was a very unclear game and we were both low on time. So it was only at the end that I suddenly realized I'm not just better but winning.
Yeah. Actually, before Sinquefield Cup, we all could see your preparation, that you put a lot of cold water on your head. I mean, that was probably the part of the success or preparation of yours. So have you had any special preparation for this tournament?
Bu turnuva için evveller turnuvlarda siz husus
No, nothing like that. I had about 10 days to rest since my last tournament. Yeah, I feel ready to play. But,
son turnuvadan bu yana
After your last game against me.
yeah, this was a continuation because we played in the European Club Cup in the last round. So,
So
Evet.
mini match already. So we have questions.
Auditoy bizim вопрос. Yani question goes to you. In the last month, if I'm not mistaken, you have, let's say, added 40 points. What do you accounted for?
Rating.
Rating,
Rating
yes.
points.
40 points in your rating. Yani
I
bir
really,
hal elave edip son turnuva
I really have no idea actually. Everything just has been going well.
Konkret diyebilmem.
But these things happen and you sometimes don't know why.
Bazen böyle
Find Baku and the tournament itself.
Okay, I like Baku very much. Actually, I have been here many times already and always happy to be here. The organization is fine. Okay, the only thing which happened badly is the translation, but it is very special thing. I mean, translation, it is nothing about the organization. I mean,
It's just unlucky, I think.
It's only my second visit to Azerbaijan. Was playing earlier this year in the Gashima.
Şemkir.
Yeah. Well, we came here for a day first, and then went to Shamkir for the Gashima Memorial. And okay, I like it very much. I like the
Azerbaycan
city.
için çok hoş ters.
I like the city a lot. I think it's actually a beautiful city.
Aslında Bakü çok
And okay, I had a chance to walk around today along the sea. And okay,
ve
I think I'll explore the city a bit more when I have some free time.
Well, lately you have been pretty successful in your latest games, and you have cranked up. I mean, you've bumped up your rating, your ranking. Actually, how do you think that? What is the weight, the contribution of your coach personally in your latest successes, achievements?
Yeah, okay, this is an easier question to answer because we've been working easier than the other one. I don't know what I've been doing correctly, but I'm sure that Vladimir has been doing everything correctly, and we've been working for now probably close to 5 years, and I think it's going very well.
So, what do you think of your coach, if your mentor, if you will?
I'm not very good with percentages, so
Sounds kind of.
yeah.
Ne diyebilirim?
And it was exciting, and kudos to both of the players.
Bəli, biz aşağıda oyunun
2 questions to Fabiano. First of all, don't you think that the plan with Queen D8 and G5 was a bit too premature?
Sorry, what?
Queen D8 and G5 was too quick. Maybe you could play some Rook E7, Rook E8 preparation.
vəzirlə bağlı
I don't really see the idea of Rook E7, Rook E8.
Just to have some pressure over E file, because White doesn't have any plan at that moment.
No, I mean, I was thinking either I should play G5 or I should play A5 to just try to stop, maybe A5, A4 just to stop White on the queen side. But I was worried that somewhere he would find a way to open up. Okay, he'll play H4, Rook H1. Okay, and I realized that H5, G5, maybe I can keep it, but I was worried somewhere maybe he'll take on E4 and